American metal band Witherfall is set to release their new studio album Curse of Autumn on March 5th. So let's ask the band themselves what is inside the release. Hello, you metal pilgrims, and welcome to the new episode of our interview series with our today's guests, Jake Dreyer and Joseph Michael of the American metal band Witherfall. In addition to just having a great love, the three of us will be speaking about the band's upcoming studio release, Curse of Autumn, and the creative process behind it, progressive metal, remember their craziest touring experience, and much, much more. Yet, before we start, and especially if you're new to the channel, I'd like to take a moment and ask you to support Metal Pilgrim by liking, commenting, sharing this video, and of course subscribing to Metal Pilgrim on YouTube or any other social media for more exclusive rock and metal content. Here you go. Going, guys.
Awesome.
That's good.
Good, man. Yeah.
Wow, thanks for finding time, guys, and jumping on this call. It's great to see you in person. Not really in person, but how are things in California, guys? How are you coping with all the madness going on around the world?
Shit, neither of us is in California.
Really?
Yeah.
What fuck?
We,
Where are you?
mass exodus out of California.
Well, that's funny though, because a lot of people went to Texas and now they're totally fucked.
Yeah.
True.
No, it's I'm in Florida right now.
In Florida.
Yeah, Florida. So that's where it's my hometown. So I decided to. Man, I've been out here for almost a year because I thought I was just going to be away for like 6 weeks. And,
Everyone did.
Here we are. Yeah. So
Florida's fucked too. It's just it's familiar fucked for Jake.
yeah.
That is true. I actually just spoke to Bill Hudson. He's in Florida
Oh, yeah.
as well, yeah. So I know about all the madness going on around there.
Yeah. Right on.
Yeah, that's fun, guys. But the cool thing is your third studio album, Curse of Autumn, is actually set to be released on March 5th. Congrats, on finishing it up despite all the madness going on around the world and all the pandemic and all this shit, that got loose last year. So could you guys take us back for just a bit and talk a bit about the creative process behind it? When did it begin, and how did this all combine into this one piece that we can hear today?
Yeah, well, we started working on this right after the production of our record in 2018, which was a Prelude to Sorrow.
Mm-hmm.
So once we finished up the actual production of that, we immediately started working on Curse of Autumn. So at least the beginning stages at that point. So we never don't stop writing. Whenever Joseph and I see each other, we'll have a ton of wine, and usually an acoustic guitar comes out and some pen and paper, and we'll get to work.
There's no end to our writing process and really no beginning. What ends up happening is once one project has passed, we'll just start working, and then a theme will start, becoming apparent, and then we start working, focusing on that towards that end. The album was actually finished, as far as the writing was finished before all this mess happened.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
None of this actually had an effect on the music or the lyrics or anything.
the performances, and, the vibe in the studio, it did, but yeah, not the compositions themselves.
Yeah, because we had everything. I think we finished just little tiny parts all blew away in March of 2020. And then everything went to hell, at least here in the States. And so we had to start working on, but yeah, when we were doing the actual the majority of the tracking in June, it was a completely fucked up time here in the States. So it was all of that anxiety that you just felt all in the air, and it was just a mess. It was all, that totally came out, on the actual performances that we were doing.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Makes sense. And how do you guys usually divide responsibilities? Who is, doing what when it comes to writing new music?
No, there is no division. We just sit down and write it together.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's very organic 70s, harking back to those type of times when guys are just being. We don't do any of that stuff where it's trading online, sending files and any of that stuff. We don't do any of that. We sit there, we make the most god awful demos you can probably imagine. But it's basically it's kind of just chicken scratch, for us just to kind of know, like, oh, okay, that's what, remember that's what we wanted to do there. So it's pretty incredible that our musicians that we hire can actually, play to these, use these as scratch tracks, It always gets a few question marks in the studio.
Yeah. And what's behind the name of the album? What is, this Curse of Autumn?
Well, the Curse of Autumn is the curse of Witherfall. Every record we've ever done has had its casualties, whether it's our drummer dying before the first record came out, or us having to fire and hire another engineer for the first record, or the second Prelude, we had the studio got blown away by Hurricane Michael, and the engineer overdosed. Yeah.
Oh crap.
Overdosed or had a heart attack from overdosing on fucking Popeye's chicken. Who fucking knows? And now, obviously, this record has its own casualties.
Yeah, we can't. There has to be a sacrifice for every Witherfall record, it seems.
I mean, it's funny, but it's kind of sad at the same time, I guess.
It's the story of our life, man. You have to laugh about it, otherwise we'll just cry,
That is true. Is true. It's just easier to look at life in such a way, right? I mean, especially I think that 2020 taught us all that we need to be a little bit more chill and relaxed when it comes to, taking serious events that are going on around the world.
Did it? Maybe it did you. I mean, most people seem far from chill and relax.
I mean, at this point, what can you do? I mean, right? I mean,
That's not the attitude. I mean, you have the right attitude. If more people had that attitude, maybe we'd be better off.
That is true. And maybe if more people would wash their hands a little bit more often, it would go away a little bit quicker.
Why would you do that? Isn't this thing fake? I thought it was fake.
Yeah, everything is fake, right? I mean, medical research and shit. Yeah,
I'm sure Bill Hudson told you that it was fake. Hi, Bill.
No, he didn't actually. He did not. This is a good promo for the previous interview you guys did.
Oh, nice.
Bill, I was talking to Bill actually the other day on Instagram.
Really?
Cool guy.
Yeah, he is. He's great.
Funny guy.
Yeah.
Fucking hilarious.
He is amazing.
We have some Bill Hudson stories, but that's for another time.
All right. Yeah. Maybe next time all three of you should join and talk shit about each other. That would be fun.
I don't even want to know what he said about us.
Nothing yet, but we'll see. All right, guys. I was actually able to listen to the album for a couple of times now, and I have to say that it is very, very diverse, right? And it's full of emotions. You can actually feel it and hear it in the music. And in terms of diversity, you obviously have this classic heavy metal. I mean, you have some infusions of progressive. You have some power metal in it, and so every kind of fan of all those genres will find something they will enjoy on this album. I personally feel that. By the way, you did an amazing job. I think this is the strongest record you've put out, and it's a very, very strong and cohesive album indeed. So do you guys think that mix of styles, comes from the diverse background of you two as musicians, or you guys do those on purpose, to come up with something unique?
No, it's totally from our backgrounds, because it's always just very natural how it's not like we sit down and we're like, we want this part to sound like progressive rock from the 70s and we want this part to sound like black metal. It just somehow happens. And because it's in the way I think that it's able to work and not sound like a total fucking mess is because it's coming from a natural place. Like it's not trying to put like a square peg in a round hole.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Nothing is intended to end up a certain way. It's just the way that the compositions end up being written. I mean, as far as the most out front part of the songs is the vocals, and people tend to identify the genre with what kind of singing is going on.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, a lot of it anyway. And I mean, my writing style and vocal delivery is near schizophrenic, so we never can be put in one box for very long.
that was like our goal too. When we first formed this band back in 2013, we didn't want to have any boundaries when it came to the songwriting.
Mm-hmm.
We wanted to be like a heavier version of a band like Queen or Led Zeppelin, you know, where it's like you can't. Their genres they ascend beyond genres. You can't even really classify any of them. Each song sounds differently, and that's very appealing.
Like Queen is a genre. Like they're their own genre.
Yeah.
Like
That
Primus,
is true.
You know?
That is true. I have to agree with you.
I mean, there used to be a label for this type of thing. It was alternative or progressive. Progressive used to just mean different, you know, not like standard. And so did alternative. But then, you know, the marketers get a hold of these labels, and then like people start copying those bands. And then instead of it being a diverse group of artists, you know, being alternative, now it's a fucking every band sounds the same, and they still call it alternative. It's, you know.
Yeah.
But that's going to happen. Whenever you stick a label on something, someone's going to copy whatever's attached to that label.
Yeah.
I think progressive has to deal with gender nowadays too. I don't even know if it's a music genre anymore.
Yeah, just come up with a 20-minute long riff that makes no sense, and you're a progressive band. That's it. It's super easy. So can you guys actually agree on your favorite track from the record?
Someday.
Yeah, I mean, a gun to our head, we could agree. Yeah, I mean, I know that after doing interviews with Joseph, what his favorite is, and I have to agree with that. That's one of my favorite songs. But for me personally, I love All Blew Away. I love the I guess, prog opus that we have.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, it depends on the day. Different days lend to different moods, but 7 times out of 10, it's Tempest.
Okay. Sounds good. And you've also invited a new drummer, Marco Minneman, right? I think his name is, to join the band in 2020. So how was it working with him? I mean, did you guys have a chance to get used to each other, or not yet?
Yeah, we were huge fans of Marco before all this. So it was quite an honor when we had to, because we originally had our drummer Gergo Borelai that was played on Prelude, but with this whole COVID shit, like he got stuck in Spain. I think it was Spain, and couldn't actually make the dates. So we just Joseph cold emailed Marco.
Mm-hmm.
Marco agreed to do it, and he sent us actually a version of Tempest with going back to our shitty demo versions, but he put drums to it, and he nailed it. I mean, it was almost exactly the type of like sound we were going for. And so yeah, when COVID happened, we got in the studio with him. It was just Joseph and I, mm-hmm. and an engineer and Marco, and we had a great time. I mean, he's such an amazing player, and also just super easy to work with, and he has some amazing rock and roll stories too.
Yeah, I mean, Marco shares a lot of the same musical passions we do, and also is an avid lover of red wine. And yeah, we certainly got to know Marco a little bit after the sessions.
Yeah, it was a great time, man. Yeah.
I mean, that guy's got a long, illustrious career, and he's definitely collected some great stories along the way.
That's great. And by the way, when I said I think his name was Marco Minneman, it was a lame joke. So yeah, I know who's Marco.
He'll appreciate that.
And one of my favorite, I've said this before in so many fucking interviews, but one of my favorite moments with Marco is we were working on All Blew Away, and it's got all the progressive part where it's the instrumental, and it goes from all these crazy time signatures and tempo changes, and we're like, okay, well, you know, we might have to take this in sections. And Joseph and I were thinking that to ourselves, and then Marco gets in there and just like completely nails it the first take, and we're like, jaws are on the floor. We're like, this is amazing. We got it. Let's move on. And he's like, I can give you like 15 other different versions of that. We're like, holy shit, this guy, you know, it's like being a kid in a candy store, you know, on a musical level. That's what makes it so cool. It makes it a lot of fun when you're working with pros like that.
The great part about stuff like that when you have a professional studio guy is you only have so much time budgeted. So the more you can get like the easy stuff down quickly, like the stuff that's in their wheelhouse, the more time you have to really dig in on all the details. And we certainly were able to get everything we wanted in those. It was like what, 2 days, 3 days? I don't even know.
Yeah, it was a very short time for how big a record it is, and also got to give credit to Anthony Crawford too. I mean, just the rhythm section alone on this record I haven't heard anything like it in modern metal.
Yeah, it's pretty great, and it works like this backbone for you guys. So you're allowed to experiment a little bit more, without worrying about what's going on behind you, right? So it really creates this backbone, as I said, for the musical composition that you guys have. And Jake, I gotta say that the guitar work on this one is just exquisite. I mean, I loved it, right? And any guitar heroes you personally look up to?
Well, thanks, man. Yeah, I mean, there's tons of guitar players all across the board. I mean, of course, like for rock guys, Yngwie J. Malmsteen, he'll get pissed off if I don't say his name properly. Jason Becker, Marty Friedman, and then I love guys like Al Di Meola too, Paco de Lucia, and then real rock guys like Brian May from Queen. Lindsey Buckingham, I think he's a super underrated guitar player and great songwriter. And then like David Gilmour. But I'm kind of more of an old school guy when it comes to players, I guess now. Like the modern guys that are out there right now, I don't even really know or keep track of who they are.
Okay, makes sense, man. And Joseph, a question for you then. With such a range of, vocal techniques, how do you actually keep your voice in such shape? Any secret routines you have?
No, it's the opposite. Don't sing when you don't have to. You don't warm up. You don't practice daily. Just, yeah.
You actually do not? I mean...
Never.
Never?
Not once in my life.
Even before the show? Before going on tour?
No.
Okay.
I think that's bad advice, honestly. I think that supposed vocal teachers have made a career on giving bad advice to aspiring singers.
Now, this is actually the first time I hear an advice of such sort.
But like I've been on many tours and I've watched guys blow out their voices like an hour before the show and then get up on stage. And it's like you blew your load. It's like it's like it's a delicate thing. Like, why are you going to put more load on it than you need to? It's not like playing guitar, like you don't have joints in your throat. Like all you're doing is causing inflammation, more work, especially over time. If you're touring and singing every day, over the years, you're just wearing it down for no reason. Because if your technique is proper, like, what's the point of warming up? Like, do you have to remind yourself about your technique? Like, that's just fucking retarded. Like, when you open your mouth, it should be with proper technique, and you should be healthy and well rested and hydrated and ready to go. Like, it's not like a rubber band that you fucking put a heating element on. Like, this whole concept of warming up is so fucking misinterpreted. Like, just having a conversation and engaging the vocal folds is enough. I mean, that's my warm up, is having a drink backstage and not talking too much, but not being totally quiet. Okay. And you do all the work. All the work comes to get good before you go and fucking sing. Like, that's how you get the technique. But yeah, like, I've never had a vocal node. I've never had a problem. I've never missed a show. And I'm telling you, like, this whole fucking nonsense of warming up it's just wrong. It's physiologically wrong. And I mean, ask Ronnie James Dio.
Yeah, he used to. Ronnie used to. His warm up was he'd have half a joint and beer. And he said that and they asked him, like, why do you warm up? And he's like, it's just wasted notes.
Yeah, if you don't want to take my word for it, fucking take Dio's.
Yeah, you cannot argue with him, so that's it. You're not allowed to. And speaking about those tours and and touring the world, you guys actually recently announced a European tour with the Evergrey. So how excited are you guys? And any insight on whether that is actually going to happen this year?
Well,
I'll call up Anthony Fauci on my phone and ask him. Dude, I don't know. I mean, it's like, it's hard to get excited for this stuff when it's like, it's like the entire, the past year, it's like you're just in limbo. It's like, who knows if it's going to happen. If it does, it'll be a lot of fun, man. I mean, it'll be our first time doing an actual like proper electric tour. We did an acoustic tour with Sonata Arctica in 2019.
Yeah,
but
no, I'm looking forward to this.
Yeah, it'll be cool.
I hope it happens. Some of my favorite places to play, favorite countries to visit are on that tour. Evergrey, I've met them a couple times, those guys, and they're cool, and the music's cool. Their new record's good, so it promises to be a really cool adventure. But who fucking knows if everyone's gonna take the vaccine? Like even if they roll it out, is everybody gonna take it, or Americans gonna be allowed to fly to Europe? Who fucking knows?
Yeah, it's a tricky one.
Like, America's in detention with the rest of the world.
That's true.
We've been bad.
What, you guys have like 45% of population that doesn't want to take a vaccine even for free, right? That's what I heard last time.
60% of the nursing home nurses didn't want to take it.
Shit, seriously?
Yeah. So.
Yeah, we're screwed, all of us.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're in a nursing home and you cough on someone, they die. And if you don't want to take it, then what hope is there for everyone else?
Yeah. This sucks. On that said note, though,
Next record.
either way, whether you
interview.
But either way, guys, would you consider an online event to promote the album before the tour?
No, we're not really fans of the whole streaming thing, the online streaming. It's I watched the Kiss one that they did for New Year's.
Yeah, I watched that one as well.
Yeah, and I look over and I don't look over, I'm watching the fucking thing, but I see like Gene and Paul, and they just look fucking miserable. They're like, why are we up here doing this? Like, there's no fans. It's like, I mean, the pyro show was cool, but then it's like, I mean, if Kiss can't make it with $1 million pyro show, convincing, what the fuck are we gonna do?
Well, I mean, who's Paul Stanley asking, are you ready to rock?
Yeah.
There were people on the balconies in that hotel who were watching.
I didn't watch it.
They were the crew.
This is sad. Okay, this is just sad, man.
Paul's watching.
It's just, man. I mean, the whole. I don't know. I don't want to like piss off anybody, but it's just not my thing. The whole online streaming thing is like, you see bands do it. Like bands were all gung ho about it, and then they didn't do it again. I saw one band that was going to do a whole virtual tour. I'm like, what the fuck are you going to do? You're going to say today, hello Cleveland, and then hello Biloxi.
Hello,
the next
Milan.
time. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Is it like a green screen, That could be kind of cool.
It's like the POV porn where the girl's like pretending to get like fucked. She's like going off, like, oh yeah, it's like the same thing. These guys are up there pretending like they're getting off on stage, and they're totally fucking not. Like, there's no audience, there's no feedback, there's no fucking cock. Like, what is the fucking point?
I have no idea how it went from an online show to promote an album to a virtual porn. That's good.
You don't see the correlation there, man?
All right, so you're not a fan, noted. But that Kiss show, the Pirate show, was absolutely amazing, though. It was still insane.
Yeah. On that note, Witherfall is having our OnlyFans page come out because it's the only other way you can make money during the pandemic now.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. And the entire music industry is screwed because of this. Not only music one, but music is got hit one of the hardest. Absolutely, guys.
All right, so I don't want to keep you too long, so just a couple of more questions, if you don't mind. What is your one guilty pleasure in terms of music? What do you listen to when no one hears you? Is it like Selena Gomez or Justin Bieber?
Well, that's the thing. Like, with guilty pleasures when music, because with Witherfall we have such eclectic taste. Like, it's not really a guilty pleasure. I mean, I guess for like the metal heads and shit like that, if we say like a pop artist or something like that, that could be it. But to us, I wouldn't really call it a guilty pleasure. But I don't know, like Hall & Oates or something like that for me. It's 80s pop. I love 80s, like Madonna and all that stuff. The melodies are incredible. You can't deny it.
Yeah. I mean, I like pop music, but I don't feel bad about it. What I do feel kind of embarrassed when like we start geeking out to like Steely Dan videos, shit like that. Because I mean, you don't get much more geeky than Steely Dan. I mean, the name itself is just horrendous.
I think it's
Steely Dan, incredible. So
yeah, musically, but
yeah.
Jesus Christ, it's dorky. Holy shit.
All right, guys, and thanks for that one. And the last one, this is something we usually do to close the episode. Can you guys agree on one craziest touring story from your touring career, and something when everything went wrong, but it was still extremely fun?
It has to be fun.
I mean, it doesn't have to be fun, but I mean, something that you can legally share, possibly.
Dude, I have so many touring. There's like too many actually to discuss. We could do an entire video interview on that. There was one particular one, and this wasn't fun. Joseph was on this tour. We weren't in the same band, but we were. But I literally walked on the bus, and like there was the fucking entire crew quit, and then like just quit. I'm not the best when it comes to setting up my guitars and gear either, so I was like, fuck, who's going to be my guitar tech? But yeah, we had a situation went down. A couple of the members in the band got severely drunk, and so did our bus driver too. Our bus driver was fucking loaded. It was the most fucked up night of touring. I mean, there was other stuff that went down. I mean, it was insane, man. The bus ended up like, someone gave us this giant red velvet cake, and it ended up everywhere because a member got super pissed off and fucking, it looked like the curb stopped Pennywise a clown in the bus. I mean, yeah, that was pretty fucked up. I mean, Joseph and I were on a tour when it just imploded. Like,
yeah, we got stranded in Europe. But by the way, I wonder what band that was you were just talking about. Yeah, I mean, we've had crazy shit happen on the road. I mean, I sent someone to Hong Kong after firing them in Japan when we were playing with Camelot.
What do you mean you sent him to Hong Kong?
The guy got really wasted and just started a bunch of drama, and we fired him the next morning. But we gave him the longest possible route we could find. We sent him on he wakes up hungover, and I'm like standing over him in the hotel room with his plane ticket, and I'm like, you gotta go. And then like I had told the front desk not to let him back up, and so she's in her like Japanese accent, no, you can't go up, you're fired. It was fucking amazing. So we give him some cab money and his ticket, and the cab ride's 2 hours, and then he's got like 8 hours till the flight in Osaka airport. And then like, you know, he's going to LA, but we sent him like this long way around. We sent him to Hong Kong first, and then so that was like a 5-hour flight, and then like an 8-hour layover, and then he had to like fly to Seattle in like 15 hours, and then another layover, and yeah. By the way, don't piss us off on tour.
I mean, fuck, man.
When it comes to touring, I just hope that those will resume very soon, and you and all the other bands will be able to hit the road once again. And I will personally catch you guys live with Evergrey, in Europe. Hopefully you'll add Ukraine so I don't have to travel anywhere, but that would be fun. All right, guys.
Cool,
Thank you for your time. Any last message for the fans? Anything you want to share with them?
Please buy our product.
Yeah, buy our wine too.
Yeah, no, we look forward, especially to the year, like heading over to Europe. So if we can, if we have to perform and kiss masks, we'll do it. So we don't get everyone sick.
All right. Jake, Joseph, thanks a lot for your time, guys. Appreciate it. It was very fun. Just as a reminder, Witherfall's Curse of Autumn is set to be released on March 5th. Make sure you check it out. It's a great record, very cohesive. Everyone who is a fan of, heavy music will definitely find something to enjoy over there. Guys, thanks a lot for your time. Keep rocking.
Thank you, man.
Thanks, guys. See ya.